Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the HR Practitioners Podcast, where we analyze business from the perspective of an HR professional. On today's program, I wanted to share a few tips for breaking into the HR field. I know that a lot of people are looking to have a career change. There's also a lot of students who have a business degree and maybe trying to figure out which uh, field and profession to get into. And I think human resources is one that is very rewarding. And I'm going to share 4 tips to help you break into HR, whether you are a student without any work experience or whether you're someone who's been in the workforce for quite some time and you're looking for a career change. So the first advice that I would have for someone that's trying to get into human resources is to decide which branch of HR you want to get involved with. Now, a lot of people who are not HR practitioners, they look at HR practitioners and people in HR or the HR function in general, as one that is uh, homogenous, right? They think all HR people do the exact same things. They think that everyone in HR hires and fires people. Everyone in HR deals with employee relations. But that's not the case. That's not the case. HR is very multifaceted. I like to think of it as, kind of like an octopus to some degree with various tentacles. You have compensation and benefits, you have employee relations, you have talent acquisition, you have learning and training and development. And you also have HR analytics now. So um, it really depends on what your strengths are as a professional and what work experience you've had previously. That would determine which avenue you'll take to get into HR. So for example, if you're someone that is working in finance or accounting and you're looking to have a career change and you want to get into HR, you might want to take the path of compensation and benefits. The reason why is the skill sets that you've developed and acquired through your experience as an accountant or a financial analyst will lend itself well in compensation and benefits because you're probably going to be using the same systems and programs. The language that you're going to be using is going to be very similar. So that may be a route that you want to take. If you're someone that is a professor or you're a teacher and you want to get into HR, then you might want to go into learning and development. And the reason why is because the same skill sets that you've used as a teacher and as a professor, you're going to be using those same skills to train the workforce. So it really depends on what your skill set is, what work experience you have, that will determine which branch of human resources you can try to get into. So the first piece of advice that I would have for you is to decide which branch of HR you want to get into. The second tip that I have for breaking into HR is to volunteer and network. And this is particularly important for some of the younger folks out there who don't have any work experience. It's I've been there before. It's very difficult to break into certain jobs because they tell you either you don't have the degree or you don't have the work experience. So you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. And if you're young and you don't have any experience, what you're gonna have to do is volunteer in order to get some of that experience. So what I would recommend is going to a church or maybe a local university or maybe even a small business and volunteer your services. You can volunteer to interview people in order to get your interview skills up. Um, you can volunteer to create certain programs and onboarding experiences, put together new hire paperwork and processes, or even conduct new hire orientation. Just offer your services for free to a small business or maybe a church or a school. And then what happens is you'll end up developing those skills, and then you can put that on your resume. And what you can also do is get the person that's supervising you, or maybe the owner of the business, to write a letter of recommendation for you, so that you can have that as in your back pocket as a resource for when you apply for some of these paid opportunities. So that's my second tip, is to network and volunteer. The third tip that I have for you is to get an HR certification. Um, the Human Resource Certification Institute, or HRCI, they released a few new certifications a few years ago. One of them is the Associate Professional in Human Resources, APHR. And that certification is primarily for those who are looking to get into human resources. So I would highly recommend, someone that's looking to get into HR to study and get one of those certifications in order to add it to your resume. It definitely separates you from those who don't have one, and it will definitely help you in your quest to get into human resources. So definitely you want to get a HR certification if you can. And the last tip that I have for you is to network. So this is everything from having a LinkedIn page. You can join a local SHRM chapter, or any type of business club that you can associate yourself with. You definitely want to network, network, network. And the reason why you want to do that is because a lot of these jobs that you see that are posted online, by the time it's posted online, the vacancy was already uh, it was already there weeks prior. And then a lot of these companies, they probably already have a handful of candidates that they already have in mind that they're going to place in that role. So the way that you find out about these jobs is to uh, network with other individuals. You find out when some of these people are leaving their current roles. They might be moving on to another organization, to another firm. And if you have a good relationship with that person, then they can put in a good word for you so that you can replace them. And that would be a great opportunity for you to get your career on the right track. So you definitely want to network. You definitely want to join, social media platforms like LinkedIn. Make sure that you have a nice headshot, a nice picture. Make sure that you complete all of the sections on your profile. And also reach out to some of your old professors or old coworkers that can kind of recommend you. They can write a recommendation on your page that will kind of build your profile up. So you definitely want to uh, network with other professionals and like-minded individuals that will help you get into that HR function. So those are the four tips I have for you: is to decide which branch of HR works for you based on your experience and your skill set. uh, g- get an HR certification, and volunteer, and also network and join a local SHRM chapter. So that's all I have for you. Thanks for listening. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this with other HR professionals in your network. And until next time,